Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm the Angry Simmer, and today we're going to be building a modern desert-ish style home. Not really. It's just a modern home that is, in my mind, in Southern California, because this is actually a mock-up, just like the ones we were doing a week ago, something like that, for my friend June's story that she's writing for the Nano Challenge. So this challenge goes on in November every year, and the idea is that in November you try and start a novel, and what you're doing is you're writing 50,000 words, and then in December you're supposed to edit it. So my friend has been sending me her story as she writes it, and she's actually at 40,000 right now, and it's only today's the 16th, but she hit 40,000 at the 15th, so halfway through the month she's already only 10,000 away from the goal. So that's awesome in my mind. But so the last piece, a character in the story had a birthday party, and the main characters show up there, and she doesn't give a whole lot of detail about this. And since she's going to be doing the editing in December, I thought, because she said she has a hard time describing things, if I gave her a clear picture of how I thought of it with what she just, like the bit that she did describe it, with the way that the characters flowed and walked around, that by making this, it could make it a little bit easier for her when she goes to do her editing. So this isn't asked for, it's just me doing what I want to do, so she might not love it as much as I do. And I will say, I do have to kind of apologize for the way this turned out, and just the way you're probably watching me create this going, what are you doing? I actually pre-built this house. I gave it a swing, basically, without recording it. I'm so mad at myself for not just going ahead and recording that, because me just doing what I would naturally do turns out so much better than me trying to copy something. So I ran into lots of issues where I was very happy with the way that it turned out in the first place. And I just, and I didn't count tiles or anything like that before I hit bulldoze lot. And I was so upset with myself because it was so hard to get it for some reason to look exactly like it was. And I had taken pictures on my cell phone, but my screen brightens everything up so fast that it made it pretty difficult. So you'll see me moving around the windows and the walls a lot. And then you're going to see me counting because I'm trying to count on my cell phone. But that's part of the creative process. I'm sure you all go through that too. Yeah. But it actually does end up turning out really great. I really enjoyed building this. The idea that I had in my head from the story was that Ella, the character that this is built for, she's a pediatrician. And she used to live in New Jersey. She was moved to Southern California to help start, she's never given a true story for why she relocated, but other than her job relocated her. And so my idea was that Ella has moved around a lot for this company or for this hospital. And so as they're opening more and more hospitals around the country, much like one of the hospitals I've actually personally worked for, they're taking over stuff left and right here. But anyways, so Ella is going to these different hospitals and she's helping get the pediatric wings going. So with that idea, I figured that she's not going to have a lot of her own stuff, and she would end up renting a pre-furnished home. So everything in this home is not actually her style. The character is pretty fun, I will say. So she is partially based off of me, but she is a pediatrician, and she is the girlfriend of Ray Toro, the famous guitar player from My Chemical Romance. And she's very lively and full of energy and very helpful and very huggy. And so I would imagine, if she was building her own home, or if she was in control of the furniture and different things, that she would actually have more French country style stuff, more lived in, loved in sort of looking. Yeah, here's me wondering why they didn't put floor tile there, because it didn't have a problem last time. But anyways, but with this, it's just so much simpler because it's clean lines. Everything is easy to pick up. She didn't have to bring any of her stuff from the other side of the country. It's just show up, live there, bring your clothes with you, basically. And it's a really interesting home, I think. It's very modern. It's black and white everything, which I think would appeal to a doctor because it would be clean. You know, everything's easily sterilized. Don't know what was going on there. Sometimes the game just doesn't want to work with you. Everything turned out so well. And actually, that's whenever I was doing it the first time. But whenever I looked at that at first, my first thought of whenever I was imagining this home while reading the story was actually that the top floor that you see at the very front, it was actually like on a stilt frame sort of situation. Yeah, I don't know why I made a big point about putting that like that. I could have just, anyways, that's another thing from, it was, you know, built a second time. Like I said, I should have stuck with what recording my first instinct. But yeah, so in this front part where I'm adding windows, I imagined it to be like the inside was kicked in a little bit more in the front. And there was just stilts holding up the top floor, or like the look of these really cool black pillars, to make it more structurally interesting. But you know what, the more I made it into this kind of very simple shape with just a few pop outs and all these windows, the more I was like, you know what, no, this is cool. This is what I imagined. And the idea here is that the entrance kitchen are 2-story, and you have this big open feeling, and you can see straight from the living room into the kitchen to see what people are doing, saying, you know, things like that. There's an echo, so that can help with their storyline. But then there's plenty of ways to get out to the fresh air outside and to take in some sun. And plenty of seating outside as well. So this is really, in my mind, a party house. More so, like, I feel like a famous YouTuber would rent this, and it might be a little bit based off of Jordan Marin's house, just a tiny bit. I can't decide if it was a great idea to go with these dark hardwood floors, or if I should have gone with that white marble tile that I put down. But I think the dark hardwood really makes a good contrast with the white walls. I feel like it's more like a gallery, which is the other thing this was inspired by too, was like an art gallery with all this natural light coming in and simple, clean lines, very little things going on. The art is big and statement making. I did take my time on picking a fireplace, and I think I need to go back in and find some more CC fireplaces. Mind you, I do love the ones that just came with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack. But we don't really have a tall fireplace that really goes with this. But what I do have that really goes with this sort of idea are those Peacemaker doors. I cannot remember what of his creations that it came in, but holy mother of God, are they beautiful. I wish I would have picked the ones that had a little bit on top of them. Like, I wish they were just the stacks taller. The size taller. There we go. Because right now I think I have the ones picked out that they are medium height, actually, and they give that little bit of show at the top. But there actually are like these, because I used game windows. I didn't use any CC windows. I probably could have gone with the all glass doors, but the game comes with, I think it was Dine Out. But those just didn't feel grand, or like the idea of this is that it seems very industrial, but at the same time, those doors give it like this is a home, not an art gallery feeling, I think. Oh, funny mistake I make here in the kitchen. So, and earlier in the game, whenever I'm putting lighting in the video, I put in 2 chandeliers. And you'll see here in a minute that I put an oven hood right below the chandelier, and I didn't notice it until I was taking screenshots. So if you're going to download this one, because I am going to put it on the gallery, don't worry, there's not a light right above this, that hood, which, by the way, hanging from nothing. I didn't put anything like a beam across up there like I should have for it to be hanging. But we'll all use our imaginations that it goes all the way up to the ceiling instead of, to nowhere. I did want to put one long bar in here, and I think I'm going to look for some more CC bars. Let me know if you guys want to do any sort of CC shopping with me, because I do CC shop every single day. And there's my cell phone. I actually tried to record this already. And my cell phone just decided to go off every 10 seconds of the first part of the recording, because I had texted my friend June, who this is, for her story, to let her know that my recording software and my editing software, they're the same thing, but I had already edited, taken out all these different things, made sure everything was good and clean and ready to go for the voiceover, and then it froze up on me, and I had to, Control Delete and get rid of it for a second. But luckily, I use Filmora, so what happens is it actually saves along with what you're doing, just like, The Sims 3 didn't ever do. But so it does save for you a little bit so that you can not have to worry as much. Yeah. But it didn't, there are a few things where I had cropped it and it forgot, or it didn't save that part of me editing. So I will have to go back and do that once I'm done with this voiceover. But other than that, Filmora I get upset whenever it shuts down on me because I'm running so much crap, and my Sims 4 is going with the 8,000 pieces of CC. Oh, those IKEA closets are so cool in the game. They just make so much sense because we don't have closets for some reason. I'm not going into that rant, but anyways, they do, they fit this house so much because either you put in a giant walk-in closet to a house like this, or you have IKEA storage like that where it looks like a walk-in, but it's just really cool, organized, clean looking thing. And I think that fits the character more. You know what? I downloaded this piece of CC Sync, and this one in particular I've never used until this point, and I really need to find a way to use the marble. But anyways, the one that I was just showing, I used it for everything for the first week I had it, and then never again after that. Yeah. Now, looking at this, I typically don't like all white bathrooms or all white and black stuff. And Deligracy has said it several times before in her videos that it just doesn't translate that well to The Sims. And it doesn't. But you know what? These came as close as it could get to it looking pretty well. And this, the bedrooms are almost identical here upstairs, and the idea that the person that rents it would go out, or that the character would go out and just get the same thing for each room because they're same size beds, and I'm sure it would have been on sale or something. It would have been easier for her to just pick up all the same stuff. But she does have a crib and what I'm pretending is a rocking chair in there, a very modern, nice IKEA rocking chair that she added because the main character, her friend Hazel, actually has an infant. So she threw that in there because she lives on the other side of the town that they live in from them. She lives close to the hospital. The girls, which I will be building for tomorrow, their house. So the other characters actually live in an apartment above a above a record store that the main character's best friend, her family owns. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I would love to do that. That would be so awesome, especially whenever I was 21, which is what the other Harper and Hazel, the main characters, that's how old they are. We never disclose, June never discloses the age of Ella. The character's based off me, and I'm actually younger than both the characters. Harper and Hazel are the people that both those characters are based off of. But I'm an old soul, and I guess it fits really well that, once again, Peacemaker stuff is amazing. Anyways, it just fits that my character, she clearly has to be older because she went to med school, and the characters are 21. I hate when the game does that. I click paint all, and it skips one stinking piece that was not put in separately, or I don't know why that messes up like that, but it drives me nuts every time. I did try to add some greenery to it for a while, and then I thought about it, and I'm like this would make sense. She just grabbed some wheatgrass or lemongrass to throw in a smoothie, that sort of thing. But any sort of extra plants and stuff outside just wouldn't make sense. She's a pediatrician, so she's busy. So it's actually a fairly plain build, black and white, minimalist. Who would have thought, right? But we do add in some natural elements with these faux wood. I will say faux wood because she wouldn't use anything harmful to the environment. But anywho, so yeah, I I imagine like if the character had a slower lifestyle than she does, that she would have more plants and things growing around and eating her own like food she grows on her own. But she just doesn't have the time to do that sort of thing. Also, this right here is actually a piece of CC bed frame, and I love it. And yes, I do later on lift those up a little bit more. But this is just so cool mixed with the game's pre-made chairs. It looks so nifty, and it looks so much better as a platform for something like that versus the bed frame, because I can't find the mattress that goes with it. So all the mattresses just look ridiculous because they're like a quarter of that space. Here's me moving everything around. I think I actually moved the house. Yep. Too far. Now back some. All right. I think it should have been moved back maybe one more tile. But you know what? The idea, whenever I first imagined her house, though, I did imagine that it was like basically just right off the road that you walked up the stairs. Like there wasn't a whole lot of walk up. And if I'm really imagining or was able to show you the way I imagine it completely, desert landscaping, there'd be like 2 levels of stairs in the front, like off the road and then up into the house with a platform in between. Just because I feel like this is in maybe the side of a cliff, like Jordan Marin's house, or it's just like, I don't know, kind of San Francisco-ish with the hills sort of vibe. I don't know. But there would, just more privacy being back a little bit more off the road. These looked really cool, but they didn't go, like they went through to the other side, and that messed up the aesthetic of the house. And nope. Just wasn't going to work. So I found something else. There it is. That worked out really well. So we go with that. I think it looks cool. I did struggle putting it on there. The 9 key is a wonderful tool, but it's not foolproof. It's not idiot proof. And this idiot look at that. Look at me struggling. I had so much trouble. It's just like, work, will you work? Anyways, so yeah, tomorrow I'll be baking Harper and Hazel's house. That is going to be an extreme difference from this. So this is like a high scale apartment, pre-furnished, gorgeousness, modern, clean. And Harper and Hazel live in a, basically, I imagine it as it was built in the 70s. Late 60s, early 70s. I imagine that her grandparents owned it before they gave it to her father, and her father employs her and Hazel. Yeah, Hazel. June, I love you, but Harper and Hazel is really hard to remember who's who. Anyways, so Harper's family owns it, and once Harper's dad either passes away or he just decides he's done running it, he'll give it over to his daughter. That's what I imagine. And so I imagine that, Harper was born there. Harper grew up there. All of her stuff there is going to be her stuff that she's had her whole life. There's going to be a lot more in her room. But Hazel, who just started living there when she was 18, they're 21 now in the story, moved in there, I'm imagining, when she was 18 to start working there full time. She lives in the parents' old master bedroom. And so they left like some furniture for them whenever they moved out. But, so Hazel isn't going to have a ton of stuff. Oh, this could give you nausea. That's what happens when you speed up everything 5 times and you couldn't get the camera angle to work because walls in The Sims 4. Anyways, but so I imagine that like Hazel had to leave her stuff behind at her dad's house that's, down the road, because, she was 18 and she didn't own anything to take with her. And they were like, it's okay, we'll leave you a bed. And so like the only newer thing that's in the house for her is actually like the kids' bed. And even that, I feel like her character would go to like Goodwill or, something refurbished. She'd buy something that wasn't brand new. But we're actually moving on to screenshots on this one. I'll tell you more about the apartment build tomorrow. Enjoy. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Come back and hang out with me some more. Bye, guys. Have an awesome day.